Long ago, in the vast lands of India, a new empire rose from the dust of history, an empire of breathtaking beauty and unmatched grandeur. This was the Mughal Empire. But it wasn't just a kingdom of soldiers and kings. It was a world brought to life by poets, painters, and dreamers. From the roar of cannons on the battlefield to the delicate brushstrokes on marble walls, every moment of this empire left a mark that time can never erase. Join me as we travel through this golden journey, the rise, the glory, and the eventual decline of one of the greatest empires the world has ever seen. Our story truly begins with a young boy who became an emperor at the tender age of 30. His name was Akbar. Imagine that a child sitting on a throne, surrounded by grizzled warriors, cunning ministers, and hidden enemies. Yet, Akbar wasn't just another ruler. He was a visionary. He understood that an empire couldn't survive on the strength of its sword alone. It needed something more: understanding, tolerance, and trust. He expanded the Mughal Empire not only with his armies, but also with his heart. From the mountains of Kabul to the shores of Bengal, from the valleys of Kashmir to the Deccan Plateau, Akbar's empire stretched wider than any before him. What made Akbar truly great was his profound respect for all religions. He created his own philosophy called Din-i-Ilahi, an ambitious attempt to unite people of different faiths. He welcomed Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, and Christians into his court. In a time of division, he chose unity. His closest advisor, the witty Birba, was a Hindu, and his beloved queen, Jadabai, was a proud Rajput princess. Akbar also had a deep love for learning. He built the magnificent city of Fatehpur Sikri, a city of victory made of red sandstone, where poets, scholars, and philosophers from across the globe gathered to debate and share their wisdom. For a time, it was the beating heart of culture and intellect in the world. After Akbar, his son Jahangir, whose name means conqueror of the world, took the throne, but Jahangir was an artist at heart. His court was filled with painters who masterfully capture the beauty of nature, birds, flowers, and people in exquisite detail. He ruled with a sense of fairness, but his reign is most remembered for his legendary love story with Nur Jahan, his queen. Nur Jahan was not just a beautiful face. She was intelligent, graceful, and politically sharp. Together, they formed one of the most powerful and influential couples in Indian history, with Nur Jahan often holding the real power behind the throne. Then came Shah Jahan, Jahangir's son, a name forever etched in history for one reason: the Taj Mahal. When his beloved wife, Mumtaz Mahal, passed away, Shah Jahan's heart broke into a million pieces. He poured all of his grief, his love, and his wealth into marble, building the most beautiful symbol of love the world has ever seen. The Taj Mahal is not just a building, it's a teardrop on the cheek of time. Under Shah Jahan, the Mughal Empire reached its absolute peak of artistic and architectural glory. Delhi glittered with new palaces, mosques, and gardens. The majestic Red Fort and the Grand Jama Masjid were built, their red stones glowing like the morning sun. It was an era when India's immense wealth and boundless creativity astonished the world. But every golden age has its twilight. When Aurangzeb, Shah Jahan's son, seized the throne, the empire's brilliant light began to dim. Aurangzeb was a stark contrast to his predecessors. He was a strict, deeply religious man and a formidable military commander. He expanded the empire to its largest size, stretching across almost the entire Indian subcontinent. But this expansion came at a tremendous cost. He spent decades fighting costly wars in the Deccan, draining the empire's treasury and the morale of his army. His harsh policies and religious intolerance alienated many of his subjects, reversing Akbar's legacy of unity. Rebellions sparked across the land. The Marathas, under Shivaji, the Sikhs, and others rose up against him. The vibrant Mughal court, once filled with poets and music, grew silent and austere. After Aurangzeb's long and troubled reign ended, the empire began to crumble from within. Regional kingdoms gained power, and the once great Mughal throne lost its glory, becoming a shadow of its former self. Yet, even as empires fall, their art and culture remain eternal. The Mughals gave India a unique style that blended Persian elegance with the Indian soul. Miniature paintings, for instance, blossomed under their patronage. These were incredibly detailed artworks, showing court life, dramatic hunting scenes, and the serene wonders of nature. Their architecture changed the face of India forever. The grand domes, sweeping arches, and serene symmetrical gardens became symbols of Mughal identity. The Taj Mahal, Humayun's tomb, the Agra Fort, and the Red Fort are not just buildings. They are poems written in stone, telling stories of power, faith, and love. Music, too, found its golden age. Think of Tanzan, the legendary singer in Akbar's court, who could supposedly bring rain with his voice and light lamps with his song. And from this cultural melting pot, a new language was born. Urdu, a beautiful blend of Persian and Hindi, the language of poetry, love, and grace. The Mughal Empire wasn't just rich in art, it was also remarkably well organized. Akbar introduced revolutionary land reforms, a fair taxation system, and a sophisticated administration that was efficient and centralized. The empire was divided into provinces called subas, each managed by a governor known as a sabita, who reported directly to the emperor. This created a chain of command that held the vast territory together. Trade flourished like never before. Indian silk, spices, jewels, and textiles were highly sought after and exported to distant lands, from Europe to China. Cities like Agra, Delhi, and Lahore became bustling global trade centers. Travelers from Europe wrote with awe about India, describing it as a land of unimaginable prosperity and breathtaking beauty. In fact, the Mughal roads, postal systems, and governance models were so effective that they laid the foundation for future Indian administration. Even the British later built upon Akbar's system. Though centuries have passed, the Mughal legacy lives on in India's heart. You can see it, taste it, and hear it every day. Our architecture, our rich cuisine, with dishes like biryani and kebabs, our traditional clothing, our classical music, and even our language carry the echoes of their era. Words we use daily like pyar for love, mehfil for a gathering, shahensiah for an emperor, and nazara for a beautiful view, all remind us of that time. Their exquisite sense of beauty and their grand vision shaped India's identity, promoting a blend of cultures and a harmony and diversity that is still cherished today. Even long after their empire fell, their spirit remained in the art, in the thought, and in the very air of cities like Delhi and Agra. In the end, the Mughal Empire was not just a story of kings and battles. It was a story of humanity's timeless desire for greatness, for love, and for creativity. From Akbar's profound vision of unity to Shah Jahan's eternal monument of love, and from Aurangzeb's tragic struggles to the timeless art they left behind, every chapter of the Mughal saga teaches us something profound about civilization. Empires rise and they fall. It is the way of the world. But the Mughals taught us that wisdom, tolerance, and a love for beauty can build nations stronger than swords ever could. And that is why, even today, the story of the Mughals is not just history. It is our heritage. It is India. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more stories from history. See you next time.